It happened at my brother's engagement dinner. His fiancée, a woman I barely knew, stood up in front of 20 guests and screamed that I had groped her in the hallway. The room went dead silent. My brother's face twisted with disgust. And in that single moment, I wasn't just humiliated. I was erased from my family. My name's Colton. I'm 33, a software engineer living in Austin. I've always been the guy who quietly handled the family messes. When Mom's car broke down at midnight, I showed up. When my little sister needed help moving into college, that was me. When my brother, Dean, 30, needed someone to co-sign his massive mortgage, guess who? Yep, me. Dean's the golden boy. Everyone loves him. He's funny, spontaneous, the type who can charm the socks off a loan officer without filling out a single form. His fiancée, Marissa, social media goddess, always perfect, always posing, always making sure every moment is Instagram worthy. I never liked her. Something about the way she'd flash that smile like she was sizing you up. 3 months ago, Dean and Marissa set their sights on their forever home. A massive modern place in a neighborhood way out of their league. They needed me as guarantor. The bank wanted assurance. I thought hard. A mortgage like that could drown me if they screwed up. So I saw a lawyer. He said, fine, standard deal. But protect yourself. He added a clause. If Dean or Marissa ever defamed me or acted in bad faith, I could walk. No financial ties. Clean break. Dean signed without reading. We notarized. It done. Fast forward to last week. Dean and Marissa threw this engagement bash. Fancy, catered, the whole works. I was in the kitchen, grabbing a beer when Marissa slid up next to me. She leaned in, real close. You're such a serious guy, Colton, she purred. Don't you ever let loose? I laughed it off, said something dumb like, guess not, and walked away. Then came the nuke. I woke up to a text from Dean that started with, you sick bastard, and spiraled into a rant I could barely process. Marissa had confessed, in tears, that I'd been hitting on her for months, that I'd tried to kiss her, that at the party I'd cornered her, whispered that she deserved better than Dean. I couldn't believe it. I reread the message 20 times. My stomach turned to ice. I called Dean, straight to voicemail. I texted, let's talk. No response. An hour later, I got his final message. Stay away from us. Forever. So I did. I called the bank. I was polite, direct. I am formally withdrawing my name as guarantor on Dean Carter's loan application. Effective immediately. The loan. Officer paused. Sir, you understand this will cancel their mortgage? I said, yes, I understand. I hung up. 3 days of silence. Then came the pounding on my door at 11 p.m. I opened it. There was Dean, hair a mess, eyes wild. He pushed. Inside. What the hell, Colton? What did you do? The loan's denied. We're screwed. Fix this. I stayed calm. You told me to stay away. I'm staying away from you and your finances. He blinked, shook his head. That was personal. This is business. You can't just torpedo our future over some stupid fight. Stupid. Fight? I snapped. That was character assassination. You accused me of being a predator. And you believed her without a word from me? His phone buzzed. I saw Marissa's name light up. Dean's face changed. That desperate look hardened. Into fury, he hissed. Call the bank. Tell them it was a mistake. Fix it. No, I said. Dean stared at me. His jaw clenched. His voice broke. You're really gonna let us lose everything? You burned that house down yourself, Dean. I'm just done standing in the smoke. He left without another word. The next morning, the storm hit. My mom called first thing. Her voice trembled between anger and pleading. Colton, your brother's heartbroken. How could you do this to him? Families are supposed to work through things, not destroy each other. I listened. I let her finish. Then I said, calm and cold, he chose a lie over me. I'm done bailing him out, she cried. She begged. I stood firm, but that was just the opening act. Marissa launched her campaign. Within hours, mutual friends started texting me, is it true? Did you really sabotage their house because you're jealous? We thought you were better than this. Marissa's version of the story spread like wildfire. In her tale, I wasn't the quiet brother who'd been there through every family emergency. I was a bitter, twisted man who tried to ruin her happiness. And people bought it. Even people I thought knew me. My girlfriend, Jess, tried to stay strong. But she started getting messages too. People asking if she was safe, if I'd ever acted weird around other women. It tore me apart watching her go through that. Then came the letter. A certified envelope from a law firm. My stomach dropped before I even opened it. The letter accused me of intentional interference in their building contract, claimed I'd acted out of malice, demanded I reinstate my guarantee or face a lawsuit for damages, emotional distress, and their lost deposit. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. This wasn't a fight anymore. This was war. I sat in my car after work, the letter clutched in my hands, and for the first time in this whole mess, I felt defeated. Maybe I should call the bank. Maybe I should fix this, just to end the nightmare. But Jess found me like that. She slid into the passenger seat, took the letter, read it. She looked at me, dead serious, and said, "There. Bluffing. They don't have a case. Did the lawyer even see the contract you made Dean sign?" Her words jolted me awake. Of course not. I went home. I dug through my files. I found the document. The notarized agreement with the good faith clause. The one Dean signed without reading. I scanned it. Took a screenshot of Dean's text. "Stay away from us. Forever." Circled the timestamp. Combined it all into a clean PDF. I didn't send it to their lawyer. That would have been playing their game. I sent it to my parents. Subject line: the full truth. The email was short. "Mom, Dad, attached is the agreement Dean signed and the message he sent me. You violated our contract before I ever called the bank." I didn't act out of spite. I acted to protect myself. Then I waited. 48 hours of silence. Then my phone rang. It was Dad. His voice was heavy, tired, no anger this time. Just sad. "We read your email, Colton," he said. "We saw the documents. We didn't know. Why didn't Dean tell us he signed something like that?" "Because he didn't read it," I said. "Because it proves he was wrong, and he knew it." Dad sighed. That long, hollow kind of sigh that sticks with you. "He's coming over tonight. We're going to have a serious talk." That talk? It shattered the web of lies. Dean broke. Under Dad's stare, under the weight of his own signature, he caved. The whole truth spilled out. He admitted it all. There was no harassment, no whispered insults, no stolen moments in the hall. It was Marissa, all Marissa. She'd wanted space from me. Thought I was too involved in their finances. Thought if I felt unwelcome, I'd back off. She never dreamed I'd pull the financial plug. And Dean, he went along with it. Thought it would blow over. Never expected the fallout. The next day, Mom and Dad went to see them. The house deal? Dead. The deposit? Gone. The dream? Shattered. Mom told me later what happened. Said it was ugly. Sighed. Marissa tried again to play the victim. Cried, claimed we were ganging up on her. Said she was the one betrayed. But something had changed in Mom. She didn't yell. Didn't cry. She just looked at Marissa, tears brimming in her own eyes, and said, "How could you do this to our family? How could you do this to him?" And that was it. The legal threats vanished like they'd never existed. Dean and Marissa stayed together, but from what I hear, it's a train wreck, bitter fights, silent dinners, blame passed back and forth like a hot coal. They're stuck in a tiny apartment now, broke, beaten down. The house they wanted so badly, gone. The future they planned, ashes. And me? I'd love to tell you I felt triumphant, victorious. But the truth was a lot messier. I felt hollow, like I won a war that left nothing standing. My brother and I, we're strangers now. We haven't spoken since that night. At my door, I see photos of him online sometimes. He looks like a ghost of the guy I grew up with. Jess has been incredible. But even she's had to cut people out of her life. People who clung to Marissa's story, who refused to see the truth, even when it was staring them in the face. Holidays, a disaster. Split family gatherings, awkward silences. Cousins who look at me like I'm the villain in some cheap soap opera. And just when I thought it was over, just when I thought I could finally breathe, a text came through, a number I didn't recognize. I know it's not enough, but I'm sorry for everything. I stared at it. I knew it was Dean. My thumb hovered over the screen. I typed a reply. Deleted it. Typed another. Deleted that too. I wanted to say something. Anything. But in the end, I just put the phone down. Some betrayals can't be fixed. Some damage is permanent. And that's the most brutal truth of all. Days turned into weeks. The dust didn't settle. If anything, it thickened. Dean's apology text haunted me. I kept thinking about it. What did he want from me? Forgiveness? A reset? Like we could just hit undo and go back to being brothers? Every time my phone buzzed, my chest tightened. But I never answered. I couldn't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Then came the real kicker. It was a Sunday morning. I was on my porch, coffee in hand, trying to piece my head together. That's when I saw them, Dean, Marissa, standing at the curb like ghosts. He looked wrecked. She looked cold, like stone. And in her arms, a folder, thick, stuffed with papers. They didn't come to apologize. Dean started talking first. His voice cracked. Colton, we need to talk. Please, just listen. I didn't want to. Every part of me screamed to slam the door. But curiosity pinned me in place. They stepped inside. Dean paced. Marissa just stared, like she was sizing me up. Again, we've been speaking to another lawyer, Dean said, his hand shaking. There's a way to force you to reinstate the guarantee. A loophole. I laughed. Out loud. A loophole? You're kidding me, right? After everything, that's why you came here. To threaten me again? Marissa finally spoke. Her voice was icy calm. We didn't want it to come to this. But you left us no choice. Something snapped inside me. I grabbed the folder from her hands, flipped through the pages. It was garbage. Baseless threats. Creative legal theories that wouldn't hold up for a second. I tossed it onto the floor. Get out. Dean hesitated. He actually looked ashamed. But Marissa grabbed his arm and yanked him toward the door. Before she left, she hissed, "This isn't over." And I believed her. From that point, things spiraled hard. Marissa started leaking news stories. To friends. To family. This time, she painted me as unhinged. Said I threatened them. Said I become obsessed. That I was unstable. Dangerous. And people ate it up. Because drama, it's addictive. And the truth? The truth is boring. Jess, and I felt the weight of it daily. At work. At social gatherings. The whispers. The looks. The phone calls that stopped coming. Invitations that dried up. My world shrank. And all because I'd done the right thing. Then out of nowhere, Jess's sister called. She worked at a real estate agency. Had heard through the grapevine that Dean and Marissa were trying to rent a house. One they couldn't afford. Again, desperate. Clinging to the life they thought they deserved. But landlords kept rejecting them. The bad credit. The lost deposit. The burned bridges. It was catching up. Finally, and still. No peace. One night. Well, past midnight, I heard a noise. Outside. I grabbed the flashlight. Stepped onto the porch. And there, at the edge of my yard, Dean. Alone. Drunk. He swayed on his feet. His eyes glassy. I messed it all up, he slurred. I let her ruin everything. I don't know what to do anymore. He collapsed onto my steps. Like a broken man? Like the brother I barely recognized. I stood there, torn. Part of me wanted to help. Part of me wanted to scream at him. Shake him. Make him see what he'd done. But I didn't. I just let him sit there in the dark. After a while, he stumbled. Off into the night. And I stood there. Cold. Empty. Wondering if this nightmare would ever really end. A week after Dean stumbled into my yard like a ghost, I got a call from Jess. She was sobbing. They're dragging my parents into it now, she said, breathless. Marissa called my mom. Said you're emotionally abusive. That I need help. What the hell is happening? My hands clenched around the phone. This had gone too far. They weren't just smearing me anymore. They were infecting everything I touched. I got home that night to find a letter taped to my front door. Handwritten. Loopy cursive. Colton, if you don't talk to Dean and make things right, this will never end. You think you're the victim, but people are seeing the truth. You're unstable. You're dangerous. I'm not afraid of you. No envelope. No postage. She'd come to my house. She stood on my property, scribbled that venom, and left it like a warning shot. My heart was pounding. I checked the cameras. Yep, there she was. Middle of the night. Hoodie. Parked around the corner. She stood on my porch. For over 4 minutes before taping that letter. 4 minutes. Just. Standing there, I forwarded the footage to a lawyer. He said, This isn't just toxic. It's harassment. You need a restraining order. Now. I didn't hesitate. The petition was filed within 48 hours. The footage, the text, the false allegations. All of it was documented, timestamped, legally wrapped. Jess helped me write the statement. Her hands trembled while she typed. I just want this to be over, she whispered. I want our back. But it wasn't over yet, because once Marissa got served, she snapped. The meltdown was spectacular. She made a video, a full-on, tear-filled, shaky camera performance posted to her social accounts. Claimed I was trying to ruin her life, that I was weaponizing the legal system, that I was punishing her for rejecting me, cited she feared for her safety. Used hashtags like hashtag justice for survivors. Hashtag stop the stalking. I watched it in stunned silence. Then I saw the comment section. Thousands. Of strangers calling me a monster, a coward, a predator. People threatening me, doxing me. One even tagged my employer. Jess was shaking. This is insane, she whispered. You didn't do anything. How do we fight this? I didn't have an answer. I spent the next 48 hours fighting fires. I called my boss, sent every legal document, the video, the text, the original contract. He believed me. Thank God. But even then, the damage was done. My reputation was in the wind. People whispered, watched, judged. The world doesn't wait for the truth. That weekend, I sat with Jess in silence. She curled into my side, said nothing, just held my hand. Her trust meant everything. And I realized I wasn't just protecting myself anymore. I was protecting us. That's when I made my decision. I was done playing defense. I was going to end this. The next move had to be mine. I didn't want revenge. I wanted closure, peace, my name back. But peace doesn't come by waiting. It comes when you force it. Through the storm. So I went public. Not with drama, not with screaming videos or emotional bait. I went with facts. I uploaded one document, the notarized agreement with Dean's signature. Another, the bank's confirmation of my withdrawal after their false accusation. I posted Dean's message, stay away from us, forever. Then the restraining order, the footage of Marissa on my porch, the letter in her handwriting, the text where she called me unstable, just days before the false allegations. And finally, a caption. They tried to erase me, frame me, destroy me. Here's the truth. Read it before you judge me. That was it. I dropped the mic. And I logged off. What happened next? It exploded. The thread caught fire across every platform. Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. People who believed her story started apologizing. Others were furious. At her, at Dean, at how easily a lie can become gospel when told with tears and filters. Even a few mutual friends who ghosted me reached out. Colton, I'm sorry. I believed her. I was wrong. I didn't answer. Everyone. I didn't need validation, but I finally felt seen. Then the message came from Dean. I had no idea she went that far. I thought it was just a stupid lie, a temporary thing, but it never stopped, and now I can't stop it either. I'm sorry for everything. I stared at his message for a long time. Then I replied, you didn't just lose the house, Dean. You lost the one person who always had your back. He read it. Didn't respond, and I felt free. The silence that followed was different this time. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't painful. It was peace. Weeks passed. Then a call from a mutual friend. You won't believe this. Dean had moved out. Yep. He left Marissa, packed a bag, walked out. Word was she exploded, screamed in the street. Police showed up. She even tried to lie again, said he hit her, but neighbors backed him. Cops didn't buy it. She was caught, cold. No charges, but her online kingdom? It collapsed overnight. Brands dropped her. Followers vanished. The truth had caught up finally, and it was brutal. And Dean? He's living with a coworker now. Quiet place, new job, no social media. We haven't talked since. I don't know if we ever will. But honestly, that's okay, because I walked through hell, stood up to a manipulative liar, lost a brother, nearly lost my career, and I came out clean. No regrets. Sometimes being the family rock means standing alone. Sometimes the only way to save yourself is to let everything else burn. And when the smoke clears, you finally see who you really are. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.